Your cat might be the hidden reason you are a billionaire, or the hidden reason you are a reckless driver. This video dives into the strange world of Toxoplasma gondii, a microscopic brain parasite that infects billions of people and might be pulling the strings of human behavior. We will look at the shocking research that links this tiny organism to business success, car crashes, and even permanent changes in your personality. Stick around until the end to find out how this parasite actually reprograms the chemicals in your brain and to see if you might already be part of its secret global experiment. Every time someone cleans a litter box, they might be coming face to face with a master manipulator. Toxoplasma gondii is a tiny, single-celled parasite that is currently living in the brains of roughly 30 to 60% of the entire human population. For some older groups of people, that number might even be as high as 80%. This parasite is famous for one very weird reason. It can only reproduce and have babies inside the stomach of a cat. Because it needs to get back into a cat to finish its life cycle, it has evolved a ghoulishly clever way to travel. It hitches a ride inside other animals like rats and mice. But a normal rat is terrified of cats. A normal rat will run away the moment it smells a cat nearby. This is where the parasite starts its mind control. When the parasite enters a rat's brain, it doesn't just sit there. It starts to change how the rat thinks. Scientists call this the fatal attraction phenomenon. Instead of being afraid of the smell of cat urine, infected rats actually become attracted to it. They stop hiding and start exploring open spaces where they are easy to see. Essentially, the parasite turns off the rat's fear switch. The rat becomes a zombie that walks right into the mouth of its predator. When the cat eats the rat, the parasite is right back where it wants to be. But humans are also warm-blooded animals, just like rats. The parasite does not know the difference when it enters a human brain. It tries the same fear-killing tricks on us, and the results are incredibly strange. If the parasite can make a rat brave enough to stand in front of a cat, what is it doing to your brain right now? The answer lies in a brain chemical called dopamine. This is the chemical that makes you feel good and helps you take risks. Recent research from 2025 shows that Toxoplasma gondii actually carries its own gene to create more dopamine. It has a special tool called tyrosine hydroxylase, which is an enzyme used to build dopamine from scratch. When the parasite forms tiny cysts in the brain, it can make the brain produce up to 350% more dopamine than normal. This flood of chemicals messes with how we make decisions. Instead of being careful, infected people become more impulsive. They make quick choices without thinking about the danger. This hijacking of the brain's reward system is likely why infected people behave so differently in the real world. One of the weirdest parts of this science is that the parasite affects men and women in completely different ways. Scientists used a personality test called Cattell's 16PF to see how infected people changed. Infected men tend to become more suspicious and jealous. They are more likely to break rules and ignore what other people think of them. On the other hand, infected women often become more outgoing, warm, and rule-following. They tend to be more conscientious and persistent. However, both men and women share one trait. They both feel more apprehension, which is a fancy word for feeling worried or guilty. The parasite is not trying to make us nice or mean. It is just trying to change our personality to see what helps it survive. And in modern times, these personality shifts are showing up in our jobs. Could a brain parasite be the secret to starting a billion-dollar company? A famous study from the University of Colorado looked at nearly 1,500 students. They found that students who tested positive for the parasite were 1.4 times more likely to major in business. They were also 1.7 times more likely to focus on management and entrepreneurship. When the researchers looked at professional business owners, the results were even crazier. People with the parasite were 1.8 times more likely to have started their own company compared to people without it. The theory is that because the parasite reduces our fear of failure, it makes people brave enough to take the big risks needed to start a business. In a way, the same thing that makes a rat get eaten by a cat makes a human start a risky tech company. While the parasite might help some people become bosses, it also has a very dark side. Because it makes people more impulsive and slows down their reaction time, it is a huge danger on the road. Research on blood donors showed that people with the parasite have a 2.65 times higher risk of being in a car accident. They are also more likely to experience road rage. In 2025, new studies found that the parasite is even linked to higher levels of aggression and violent behavior in humans. It seems to push people toward high-risk, high-reward activities, whether that is driving fast or getting into fights. Even more disturbing is the newest research from 2025 about sexual risk-taking. The parasite appears to make people more likely to take dangerous risks in their romantic lives, which might be another way for it to spread from person to person. Is it possible that this parasite is actually shaping entire countries? Scientists have compared the levels of Toxoplasma Gondii infection in different nations. In countries like Norway, the infection rate is only 9%, but in Brazil, it is as high as 60%. Researchers found that countries with high infection rates also have different cultures. They tend to have higher levels of neuroticism, which means the whole population is more prone to guilt and insecurity. These countries often have stricter rules and more ambition focused on money and work. This suggests that a microscopic organism is not just changing one person at a time, it is changing the personality of entire nations. So, how do you get this parasite? Most people get it from handling cat litter or eating meat that isn't cooked all the way. It can also live on unwashed vegetables. Once it is in your brain, it forms hard shells called cysts that can stay there for your entire life. For most healthy people, the parasite is latent, which means it doesn't make you feel sick with a fever or a cough. But as we have seen, latent does not mean it isn't doing anything. It is quietly working in the background, tweaking your dopamine and changing how you react to the world. Scientists are now using artificial intelligence to find new ways to detect these brain infections. They are even looking into hair-based technologies to see if we can track the parasite's history in a person's body. While we don't have a cure for the personality changes yet, knowing that a cat-borne parasite might be making your decisions is the first step in taking back control of your mind. The next time you feel an urge to take a massive risk or drive a little too fast, you might want to ask yourself, is that really my idea? Or is it the parasite talking?